Difficult.
Difficult.
Difficult. Difficult. Difficult. Difficult.
Women.
Yo, what's up?
This podcast is
Is
up.
up.
Yeah, it's up. What's down?
My emotions. My emotional state. No, it's kidding. That's not true at all. Actually, I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that was just a bad joke.
What's your name?
My name's Katy. What's your name?
Marie.
What are we doing here?
We are recording the coolest podcast in the world.
Is it Mark Maron's What the Fuck?
Yep.
Amazing. No.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
No,
it's what?
Difficult Women.
Difficult Women, the podcast.
We are so difficult.
We are so hard to get along with.
So many. Our writer is just like unbelievable.
Like, we need water. Please.
We don't care. You could put it in a bucket. Literally,
Yeah,
we'll just drink it from the
so
bucket. But
hard to
just
work
as long
with.
as we have water.
Yep.
We're in a band.
We are in a band.
It's very successful.
It's incredibly successful.
Millions
called
of money coming
Millions
in.
of money. In like millions of dollars, but in like a currency that were like $1 million is actually like $1.
Yep, that's us.
I can't think of what country, but anyway.
Reformed Whores.
Yay, that's us.
That's our band.
Speaking of our band, we have something pretty exciting to announce.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Oh yeah, there you go. We have a show coming up in New York City. So we've done our hour show all over the country and the world. Not all over the world, but in one
specifically
part.
Scotland.
Yes, that's just like now we're world travelers.
It should be like we've performed all over the United States of America and Scotland.
Yep, that would be accurate.
We sang in France to a tree.
Did we?
Did we? I don't even know if
think
we
did.
practiced.
No, I'm not sure that's true.
I think we talked through jokes in your pool.
Oh yeah, maybe
That's it.
So we sort of performed for no one.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not the point. The
That's
point
not
is
in our
we
bio.
have a show. We have a big show in New York City coming up on the 19th.
February.
I was going to say
12.
February. It's like, oh shoot, no, not February. It's September 19th. It's a Thursday, I believe.
Oh my God.
At Caveat, which is a cool venue. 9:00. You can buy tickets now online.
And they're only $10. But at the
amazing.
door, there's going to be some, maybe, if we don't sell out. But
Well, you should get them ahead of time because
That's right.
I
You should
can't
probably-
guarantee we're going to have tickets. I think we are going to sell out.
Yeah, we will.
I'm actually not even kidding. I feel very confident.
Yeah,
that
we will sell out.
So-
So buy them in advance, $10. You can go to reformedtours.com for our show. It's our hour. We've only been working on it for 9 years.
So it's like pretty good.
I was thinking about that the other day when I was posting. I was like, no biggie, just something
Just like
that
our
I've
baby.
bled and
Yeah.
cried over.
This would be a child in like third grade at this point. It's pretty old.
So come to our show.
Yeah.
It's our hour at Caveat, Thursday, September 19th. Doors are at 9, shows at 9:30. Get a babysitter if you have a baby.
If you don't have a baby, you can still get a babysitter.
Yeah.
We can watch
get
your
that
plant.
Hot babysitter.
Yeah. So what else? What's new with you?
I have to say,
Yeah.
I've discovered this new podcast.
This ours?
Yep, this one.
No.
Just wrote in. No, I do want to talk about it really quickly
Yes,
because
please.
it kind of piggybacks onto the intersectional feminism
Oh, cool.
and how we can educate ourselves and how I was saying, we really need to be focusing more on other things besides the white narrative. Well, here's a great thing that you can do. There's a new podcast that's come out from the New York Times. Like the Daily Podcast has been promoting it. It's on the same network.
Cool.
It's called 1619.
Oh yes.
It is. So I've been listening to it. I think it's episode 4 now or so. But basically 1619 is when 20 slaves from Africa were brought to the colonies. And that's what started the slavery as we know it.
in the United States. Yeah.
In the United States, yeah. So it kind of just every episode is different, but it's fucking blowing my mind.
gonna
This
definitely
last
listen to that.
episode was about the minstrels and
Oh,
like
yeah, the
how
minstrel shows, yeah.
the minstrel shows and I mean we watch White Christmas every year and there's a minstrel section
Oh, I
in
didn't know
White
that.
Christmas.
Yikes.
Yeah. So, I mean, this stuff they were saying that the minstrel show is actually like the birth of pop culture, like real American popular culture.
Did they talk about how the guy that started blackface, how he like what happened was he was like sort of a singer dancer guy that like was not very successful, this like white dude, and then he like went sort of out in the country and he saw this black man who was like singing a song and doing a dance, and he was like, "Oh, can you teach me this song and dance?" And the guy was like, "Sure, no problem." So he taught him the dance. It was on the crow farm.
Oh,
and he taught him the dance and the song, and then he like stole it basically,
became
put
Jim
on
Crow.
blackface, and then did the performance and didn't credit him obviously at all. This is why like they were saying that when you appropriate things, it's like really problematic because
Right.
you're not giving credit to where credit is due. And then also that's where Jim Crow came from, because he called himself Jim Crow based on the
Right.
Crow farm.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
Cool.
he said, yeah. Anyway,
I mean,
Nito,
anyway, I think it's like been
I definitely
really
would listen to
exciting.
that.
Yeah, just been really exciting because I feel like my history classes.
Oh,
in
they don't
growing up,
cover
they
this
did
at
not.
all.
Nope,
Not
not in
at
Tennessee.
all.
So
No.
it's just I feel
Nowhere.
I feel like it's just really it's so well done, and I just highly recommend it.
That's
so
really cool.
That's
Thank
been
you for the
given me.
suggestion.
Yeah, 1619.
perfect.
Check it out.
Well,
Yeah. How
so
are you?
I'm fine. I don't have much
How
time.
are you? What's
I'm
going
good. I've
on?
been
You
roller
look so
skating.
cute.
I'm just roller skating.
You
all
look,
the time.
I know, and I have to say, you roller skated with the baby pig the other day, and
Yes,
I
I
have
did.
never been jealous of your roller skating
Until
because,
that
like,
moment.
I'm not. It's not my thing. I saw that picture. I almost texted like, I'm coming. Like I was at work. I was like, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to come find that pig
Yeah.
and start roller skating. I mean, you were roller skating with a baby pig.
Yeah, well, so that's probably a strange thing for people to hear. What happened
Oh, yeah,
was
actually,
there
yes.
was we were at the skate park. Just so you know what's happening, I don't just like carry a baby pig around. We were at the skate park, and I hear this like squealing. I mean, like a
Like a-
scream, but like more horrifying.
Pretty good at
I don't
baby
even want to
pig
do it on the
Oh,
thing
really?
because it will ruin people's ears.
Oh.
It was so loud, and I was like, "What is that?" And I thought it was like a child or something. I was like, "It's children in the park." And I look over, and it's a pig. And I turn to my friend, I'm like, "There's a pig! There's a pig!" And my friend was like, Anyway, are you gonna go? Like, are you gonna like? She like totally didn't understand what I
my
was saying.
God.
And then we looked over, and this guy had brought his 2 little piglets that he had just bought. He's raising them in Brooklyn.
How
I wish
old are
him
these
luck. They
little
were
baby
6
pigs?
weeks,
6 weeks old.
and they're already kind of big, in my opinion.
This is your fear. We talk about this all the time
Yes.
because I really want a pig someday. And
I
I'm
would
going
love to have a
name her
pig.
Delta Burke.
Delta pork.
Delta Pork.
Yeah.
No, Delta Burke after Designing Women, which is now on Hulu, I believe.
Okay, good.
Highly recommend that too. But yeah, you've always said like, I mean,
They get big,
really
and,
big.
and
Yeah.
people don't. People lie about it. The sellers lie about it, and they say, "Oh, it's a teacup pig or whatever. It's a populate pig," and like they're not. They're regular pigs. So remember when we met those pigs, the piglets in
Yes,
Nashville?
yes.
They're so small. As a piglet, so small. When we saw the mom, she's like twice the size of me. Like
Yeah,
that
so
pig.
how is she-
So
yeah.
how imagine having 2 pigs in Brooklyn that are like full grown pigs. So he's hopeful that they're actually small pigs. But what's a small pig? Pigs are pretty big. Populate pigs, I think, are the only
and they
small
eat a
pigs.
lot too.
Sure. They're awesome pets, I think. They're fun. They're smart.
Won't they eat your face eventually?
If you
Or
die,
is that a
I think if
chimpanzee?
you like died in your apartment, they would eat your face. But so would your cat.
Olive.
Yeah. Anyway, listeners, we have some really exciting news for you.
Oh my God, you guys.
Oh my God.
We cannot believe this has happened. But we have officially partnered with AdamandEve.com. And if you don't know who Adam and Eve are, then read the Bible.
Right. But AdamandEve.com, who
Yes.
are they, Marie?
It's our favorite adult toy superstore.
Oh my gosh, it's where I get all my butt plugs.
Yeah.
I gotta get those butt plugs.
Hey, that's where I got mine.
That's great.
And the Satisfier. Hello.
Perfect. See, here's the thing. Free stuff is awesome. No? But free stuff to spice up your bedroom is even better.
Y'all, you can select almost any one item, get this, for 50% off. And then Adam and Eve loads on the free stuff.
All you gotta do is enter the code HORIO at checkout and get 10 tantalizing free gifts.
A sexy item for him, a special gift for her, and a third item you'll both enjoy.
And 6, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 free spicy movies.
Plus, this is going to blow your brain out, free shipping.
I mean, that's all I ever wanted was free shipping.
I know.
That's all I ever want. That's Horeo, WHOREO, Horeo at adamandeve.com.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, our topic today is
Sex robots, which
My-
is just perfect.
Maybe you could get one at Adam and Eve. So here's the thing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go into this and I'm gonna be playing like devil's advocate and I'm gonna be like really pro sex robot.
Okay.
Can't do it. I just can't do it. I don't know. This is like fascinating stuff, but it is, I don't know. I can't. I'll have my moments. We'll see, but
I did find some pros, which I would still can't really quite get behind. But one pro was for get a sex toy for elderly people, and especially people with dementia.
oh, and they don't know.
Which I was like, I can't get behind that. Because what if all of a sudden we go and to visit Grandpa?
He's like fucking this one. What's this weird lady? You're like, oh God,
This is Rebecca.
Oh my God.
girlfriend.
Not
So
into
at first I was like, well, that's nice and lovely, a companion for an older person. But then the dementia thing.
Yeah, I don't know about that dementia stuff. But anyway, wait, can we start at the very beginning though? Because I wanted to know.
Yes.
I was curious. I was like, how long have men been fucking fake women? How long has this been a thing? And I'm just curious. And I found that it started.
I'm crying already. I love this topic. When you texted me, you were like,
like,
sex
we're
robots?
doing
I was like,
sex
okay, let's do it. Giddy
Oh
up.
God. Well, so like, I guess it started these Dutch sailors, and they wouldn't even give me a date. It could have been last year.
Oh,
but
it was 16 something. I found the same
that
thing.
probably
Wait,
seems
I
right.
got it in the Wikipedia.
yeah.
Something
That's how
in
I
this-
think I got into. Look, thank God Wikipedia has all
Thanks,
these things.
Wikipedia.
But they call them. So they would make these like cloth people and then bone those people because there's no ladies on the boat. I get it. I mean, that's fair enough. I'm okay with that.
Do you think
I
they
get it.
passed around the puppet
Yes,
things?
I'm sure men are.
So they're just
discussing
like,
it. I think
yeah.
that's definitely what happened.
One of my favorite stories of a friend of mine, he told me that he had a hole in his teddy bear when he was younger and he would just use
Well,
that.
you know what they call that? A Dutch wife. That's the term that they use.
I'm sorry.
That's so you're
What?
Yeah. So that in
When you
Japan
come
they
in-
still call them. They call like sex toys like Dutch wives.
Ah.
So I'm sorry if you're a Dutch woman.
Wow.
I hope you. It's probably a terrible name to if you're an actual wife in Amsterdam. I'm sorry. But then, so they used a lot of cloth, sort of like puffy thing like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it
Just
felt good
whatever.
on there.
It's probably not a bad way to go. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. But then it was in the 70s. People were just fucking soft, puffy things until the 70s.
beanbag chairs.
So whatever they could. And then they could use, because like plastics became more into use, you know? Like plastics are sort of a recent thing. So they were making them, those blow up dolls out of vinyl. I don't know how people have sex with those blow up dolls. There's seams like
I know
everywhere. It's so painful.
Truth be told, I have two
Right, we
sex
have- I know,
blow-up
we
dolls
use
under
them
my
all the
bed
time.
right now,
We
and I
use
had a
them.
lover see one once and was like, "What the?" I was like, "It's for a joke."
We used them on the show. We
We
used to
use it
have
for
a,
the show.
What was her name? Shmarie.
Shmarie.
That was her name was Shmarie.
Wait, so I want to put a little pause on what you're saying.
Okay,
and go
that's
back
all I
even,
really have to say, really.
Well, even further
Okay.
in the ancient Rome time, the Roman poet Ovid wrote about this love story, and I remember in Metamorphosis. remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the romantic story of it was that the sculptor Pygmalion
Yes.
was like defunct from society and never connected with females, and so he sculpted the most beautiful female body known to man,
And then he fucked it.
and then he fucked her.
Amazing.
But the romantic side of it was that the Aphrodite,
They fell in love.
yeah, when he kissed the statue, it was brought to life, and they lived happily ever after.
Similarly to the movie Mannequin.
Yeah. Oh God, don't get me started on that movie. Fucking love that movie.
I know it's great. But now after
But
reading
now
all the sex
reading all
robot
the sex,
stuff,
it's
sort of
very, it's
like
a
weird.
gateway.
It's a gateway.
But
drug.
then, so this was saying, I think Wikipedia was just saying that the Romans would have sex with sculptures and things. The marble would
Also,
felt really
sort
good
of-
on their penises.
Oh, okay, all right, I can kind of get in that.
Yeah, I mean, I like touching marble.
Right. And you know what? I get it. Like we also fuck fake men in dildo form.
I have 27
Yeah.
dildos.
She's got like a whole like
And there's a full
shop
bed.
back
No,
there.
no,
She's selling them all these things.
But
So,
that is
like,
a good
it's,
question.
you know.
Would you
Right.
have sex with a robot?
So if you had asked me this question before I started doing the research, I'd have been like, yeah, sure, why not? But now I'm like, oh God, it's not so much like, I know for sure it wouldn't be a thing that I'm like excited to do. If I was doing it like for science or something, maybe I could like get through it.
Right. Yeah. If they were studying the effects.
So here's so the other question that I had when we started was, how far along are they in this sex robot situation?
Right. Okay.
And the truth is, the furthest that they are at this point is basically a real doll. If y'all know, these real dolls are like these like synthetic, like very lifelike,
they look so smooth.
Yeah, they look so scary though. But they
purposely make them to look like cartoons because they are fearful if they look too human being like. Then that's where
because there's that thing, the uncanny valley, where like if something is too human like but not quite human, it's really scary. So they're like, we don't want to scare our customers, so we'll give them like bigger eyes and like things like that. But so you have these real dolls. They've been selling those for a while. It's Dutch wife, that kind of thing. And then they started putting like AI into their heads. So now they can like move their faces a little bit. They can speak. They can because of the AI, they can like learn about you a little bit. Ugh. So they can like learn your preferences. Like, do you prefer to watch movies or read books? That was the example they used.
Wow.
And part of the idea isn't just that like it makes the sex more real. It's that like you can have a friend. Like you can have like the part of like what people are trying to do with these is make them like a real companion.
Well, I did read that David Levy, who is an expert in artificial intelligence, predicts that by the year 2050, humans will have a variety of intimate relationships with robots, including friendship, love, and marriage.
They also said...
Marriage!
Totally. They also said that somebody is predicting that there'll be more sexual robot encounters than human sex encounters.
But that is not good.
But here's my question about that.
Okay.
Here's where I'm going to do a little bit of devil's advocate. Do you think people masturbate more than they have sex in this world at any given day?
I think maybe men do. Not heterosexual.
And maybe let's say men. Let's say men because men are mostly the ones buying these things anyway. So I would say like if it's just a masturbatory tool, then it doesn't necessarily mean that like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, because the AI, that's the thing that I think that's where it gets absolutely terrifying. No, totally. And I think AI in itself is a Wild West that we're trailblazing that's going to lead to
a total robotic takeover.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty
totally
confident
think
that robotic takeover.
So that's where, because it's like, I have sex with my dildos and vibrators and all that sort of stuff. Is that a robot? It is kind of a robot.
It's a fake person.
It's a fake.
It's a part. You're using a part of you're using a dick to like shove it in there. I mean, I'm not sure I agree with myself on this. I'm just posing that question.
Yeah.
It's like, does that number mean that people will be having less sex with humans than we already have? The answer is probably yes, because of the like AI part. But I'm just trying to be optimistic. I don't know.
It's just terrifying because right now in our world, I feel like more than ever before, we are on our phones, swiping on the social media, the online dating. Like there's some part of humanity that is slowly being lost.
Oh, for sure.
That's the human connection.
Right. Well, and somebody posed an interesting question in all these articles I was reading, and they were saying like what these robots do is they make you reassess your definition of sex.
Right.
Because like, is sex then just the act of like penetrating something, or is sex not sex unless there's like a connection with the other person, some sort of like, even if it's not emotional, like some human kind of interaction. So like that's an interesting thing too. Like how do we look at sex?
In my lifetime, I've had two different types of sex, like fuck buddies that just come over
but it's still a human
and then
being.
leave.
No, but
Right,
that's
yes.
one kind of sex in a way.
But it's non-emotional.
compared-
It's like
no,
just,
for sure. But
but
I'm
it's
just
still a human
saying
being.
that like
Yes.
there's like then this is that even still is it masturbating if it's a robot?
Right.
Or is that like and like that's where the blinds are really blurring because like if you have like if you're banging your fleshlight like that's you might be in love with your fleshlight but like I hope it's a different kind of love, you know, whereas like if a being is like understanding you and communicating with you and learning about you and telling you all the things you wanted to hear, you know, like so I've been really fascinated with this like for a long time and I've been like trying to write this web series about this like robot girlfriend and like I've been having so many all the men that I talked to about it, they're like that's a great idea, you should just write it. I'm like, but you don't understand that like there is this like misogyny that's so built into this concept that it's hard for me to write this funny thing because it's like I can't find the angles without it getting gross and weird and having it really be about sex and not just the like relationship part of the robot, you know? Because that's I'm more interested really in like
What human being can't find love with another human and goes towards
right. And then what does it
AI.
mean to like have a robot be like, I love you? You know what I mean? Like that it doesn't love you. And is that enough?
Well, then also they were saying that in like 2050, say a robot kills a human, then who is held responsible? The owner of the robot or do you charge the robot?
Well, I think it depends on how self-aware the AI gets.
Right.
Because the other thing they were saying is like if the AI gets self-aware, then we have to start developing rights for the robots.
Right.
So it's like this is where we're all
We can't even do our rights right
I
now.
mean, there's no way.
I just said right 7 times, but you know what I mean.
No, but also like, and they're saying like that's where the robot uprising is going to come because
Right.
we're going to be like abusing these robots and they're going to get self-aware and they're going to be like, oh hell no. So that's another
Oh
thing.
no, we can't see. God, if you're oh God, this makes me so nervous. I don't
know,
like this.
It's so bad.
I don't like this.
So then, before the even
there's gonna be a
self-awareness
robot
part,
okay.
before even the self-awareness part, the other thing, the reason why I sent you the text message "sex robots" is because I read this article about how there's a fear that as the technology gets better for these sex robots and they can start using their arms and like because right now all it is like a limp body with like a head that can talk basically, but like eventually people are like wanting it to be able to move with you and be like a full human, like seem like 100% like a human, like Westworld style. And they were saying one of the fears is that like they can kill they can get hacked into because all the software is done like it's like an operating system, just like your computer. So you can hack into the operating system,
And then they would
and you
strangle
can
you.
strangle the people,
That
and
is
somebody
incredible.
can like so even their fears even before the robots get self-aware. That
People-
like that
humans
these
are gonna
robots,
hack in and-
that humans can like control these robots in like devastating ways. And the truth is like a robot is always going to be stronger than a human because they're like,
Yeah.
have you seen those videos of those robots like opening doors and stuff? They've like been teaching around like stop teaching the robots how to do things.
Yeah.
But
I think that we should all just calm down, like the Taylor Swift song says, and stick to Roombas.
I was just gonna say I
Love a
I
good
really
Roomba.
want a Roomba. That's
I want a Roomba.
But I would be so nice to my Roomba. I wouldn't.
I know.
I wouldn't be like Roomba, clean the corner. I'd be like Roomba, do you mind just like sweeping up a little? Because I don't want that Roomba to come get me.
This made me think of when I was a child. The only gift I ever wanted was that, you know, the Barbie. There were two different things. It was like there was the half Barbie head that you could do her makeup,
Right. Right.
and then
I
they
have
had
it
like
down.
the 4 feet tall Barbie.
Right.
That girls would just like bring along with them
Right.
to the fucking grocery store. And
Well,
be like,
so
holy shit.
I had speaking of okay, this is sort of interesting. Remember like Teddy Ruxpin and
Yes.
crickets?
Yeah,
So
my
I had
finger. He bit me.
I know they always it would hurt a lot.
Really? I'd be like, Mom, it hurt. And
I
he's like,
know.
well, quit putting
well,
your fucking
so
finger
I'm
in
an
there.
only child.
Oh,
So as a
no.
kid, I was
Oh,
like,
God.
I know I need a sister. Like, how can I get a sister? And I was like begging for a cricket. And so finally I got a cricket. And then I realized you just put a tape into her and she just like reads. You can't talk. She's not listening
You're
to
like,
me.
Mom, this is not my friend.
I was so disappointed. Like I really wanted. So I kind of get the like impetus of like wanting like a robot friend. You know what I mean?
But did you hump?
No, I did not hump her. It didn't even occur to me to hump her. She was not that cute. I was like not attracted to my cricket by any means.
God.
I don't even know where. I guess I could have figured it out. That's gross. I have no interest in humping that cricket. Somebody probably did though. Now that you mention it,
Yeah.
somebody out there, somebody's brother.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh God.
Well, so I thought it was interesting. So obviously, men are the statistically, they're the ones buying these sex robots. But so who's the McKellen? He's like the
guy that owns the sex doll. What are they called? The real dolls.
Yeah,
real dolls
are not AI.
No, they're just the regular dolls.
Like dolls.
And then, but that
Fuck
company
dolls.
has like a side
Real
company
Dolls
that's like
X or something.
Exactly, and it's
Yeah.
like those are the robots.
And it's an app on your phone that you load with all this information, and then the thing can be like, "I will suck your dick."
Well, also though, you have to get to know them first. They won't have sex with you right away. They're like, no, and so like you have to like,
Which is
learn
a
to
whole
talk to
other
them.
thing,
Well, it's
too.
a whole thing. So there's a couple levels to this that like blew me away. Was that like, so yes, the pre-orders for these like dolls. Her name's like Heather or something.
Harmony.
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 Oh my God.
What the
I mean,
fuck?
of course. But so like, so anyway, they have like these pre-orders.
32
And they're all for like
F.
men because they only have this like female doll, but they're working on a male doll. His name's like Hank or something. I can't remember. Henry. That's right. I'd like
Harmony and Henry.
Yeah. But so like nobody's ordered the male doll yet, I don't think at all. But they also were saying that like the problem with the male sex doll is that you have to do all the work.
Right.
So what the fuck? I don't need that. I
Yeah.
got like a dildo. I don't need that.
Well, so
And to have this like 200-pound doll you're throwing around or something, like that's like the least appealing thing.
so I thought this was so funny. Did you read that? There's an article on The Cut.
Yes,
or
it
something.
is so well written.
It's so well written.
So funny.
Allison P. Davis wrote this article. It's so funny.
Read
She
it.
like flies to LA or San Diego to like meet this Henry sex doll. But then, and I haven't seen this, but she had said that a TV host, the host of Slut Ever on Viceland, she actually ordered the male doll and then had sex with it. And the way that she describes having sex with this doll. So she said the skin feels real. So that's cool. It has arm hair, like real arm hair, real pubes. The flaccid dick feels like a real flaccid dick. The boner feels really real too, but cold.
Right.
And ultimately, she said it's like having sex with a lazy person. You have to do all the moving. If she wanted to have sex from behind, it would have to be required. You'd have to like back it up.
back into
into. I mean, I'd rather get a suction cup dildo to a wall, which I've heard.
Yes,
A lot of my gay friends love. Which
sure, that's a much more
that sounds great.
affordable option too.
Yeah,
I mean, I
just
don't know.
Put it on the shower.
But they were saying that they want to try to like work on the technology so that they can get some thrusting action coming out of the
Yeah.
doll, so that
Self-lubricated, and more touching sensors, which is so weird. But
because
this
that's
is
the
what,
thing too. It's like if you touch the doll, the robot, then she reacts like when it's.
Did
like,
you hear that? They were
so
like,
but
I was like,
also-
that's pretty hot.
And,
Actually.
but also like they'll make sounds like that. But if you like neglect to touch them, they start just go like they don't like engage as much. So like if you engage
have
with
to
them more, they like react more.
I
which
like
is,
that they said
such a
it's
weird
the
thing.
same technology as the Tickle Me Elmo.
I love that too. I know. It's like, oh god, this is so
But then
creepy.
also Allison, who's so freaking funny. Read this article. She said, so she grabbed she grabbed Henry's balls, and she said, if I close my eyes, it's almost like I'm gripping the balls of a man who spends his day naked in front of an air conditioning unit.
right. That's about right.
I don't want to have sex with a cold penis.
Well, so another thing that people do, I don't know if you can do it with the robot because I don't know about the electronics in there, but I know that with the real doll, people will put it in a warm bath for a while and then they'll fuck it.
Oh God,
That's so much work. This is too much work. All of this to me is too much work.
well, I don't know. I just said, well, just have a relationship with a human being, but that's really hard for some people.
So now this brings us to like an interesting part of this debate. So one of the like things that people say is a pro for these dolls, aside from like having old men fuck them, I guess, which is good. I don't know
If they can get it up,
yeah, and that's cool.
she feeds them a
Yeah, just
Viagra.
like a-
Honey,
Oh God, that's gross.
yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying old people sex is gross. Old people sex is wonderful. Old people sex with a robot, I don't know about. So anyway, just not ageisming anybody.
Yes, right.
But so they were saying for like people, like there's this whole thing in Japan that's happening right now, this Otaku, it's a term from Japanese youth culture that describes secluded persons with a high affinity for manga characters. And it's like been this like crazy thing that's like taking over Japan where these young people don't want to like leave the house and they don't want to like interact with other people.
Because they're just online.
They're just online, I guess, but
they're not like
also
home baking cookies. They're like,
I think they're also really
in.
depressed. I mean, I think that there's like this whole generational like thing that's happening over there in Japan. So they were saying like for people like that are kind of like not leaving the house and not interacting with people at all, it could be like an option for them. I don't know if it's like the best option would probably be to leave and meet some people. And they were also saying for like incels, which we're going to do a whole episode about later, but like these involuntary celibates, which are these guys that like can't get a girlfriend, that it gives them a place to like release some of that stuff. Here's the problem. And I can't remember if it was in that article or which article, but they were talking about how like another company that has a sex robot doll was like releasing it and then had some event where people could like try it out or whatever. And the people that ran the company were horrified by how barbaric was the word they used.
Yes.
That men treated these dolls. And they were just doing horrifying things to these.
Well, even that
dolls.
real dolls, they rent these things out for parties and they will come back completely destroyed. It's like, are people just renting these things and having gangbangs with them?
And maybe so, right? So then there's two modes of thought about that. That
are you
some
going
people
pros
say,
and cons? Or
no, I mean, I definitely think that's like a con. But it's some people want to make the argument that that if men can like get out their like those kinds of brutal sex acts out on a doll, then that's safer for like sex workers and it's safer for like the women, and it would be less domestic violence then because they could get those things out. And the doctors are all like, no, that's not how that works.
Encourages.
It says it normalizes it.
Right.
So it like it works it into your one of the really scary things about these dolls, aside from the robot, like that the robot's taking over or whatever, it's that like it can really encourage misogyny and encourage more violence against women. And they were saying also there was some Japanese guy that was like trying to make these like sex dolls in children form.
Oh no.
Because he was like, it'll help people that are, pedophiles not have sex with real kids. And again, the doctors are like, no, it'll make them have sex with more kids because it'll keep like reinforcing that behavior over and over again. So it's like, it is actually like a really serious issue, social issue, beyond just like, hey, are you like socializing with people? Are you connecting with another human? That's an issue. But then in addition to that, it's like, how do you now see women? Like women are even more of an object to you.
Right.
Now, after
it shows pure ownership. I own this thing. This is mine. I can do whatever
you
you
own
want.
that robot.
Yeah.
You do own that robot. But that's
then
not
the
a woman.
connection. Right.
And the more real the robot gets, the more difficult it will be for people to separate in their minds the way you treat a human versus the way you treat your robot. So that then when those people do have interactions with women, real women, they could be very much brutalizing these women and maybe not even fully understanding that they're doing that. I mean, there's going to be a whole spectrum of problems that come out of this. So they were saying that like, this is not a healthy turn of events, particularly for humanity.
Well, you want to hear some more pros?
Give me another pro.
This is just according to Real Dolls. But they claim that their products have been purchased by the Nursing Association, prostate cancer survivors, burn victims, and people with disabilities. And it also claims that psychiatrists are using them in therapeutic treatments and that parents buy them for use for their children with autism or socially excluded grown-up children.
That's interesting.
So,
I mean,
all
I guess
those could be.
What I wonder about that, though, is it like, wouldn't all of those people be benefited by having more human interaction, though? Like, it's not that people with disabilities can still be in relationships with humans. It's not like we can also work on that notion that they're like a pariah, you know what I mean?
Right.
And bring them into society more. So that's something.
Nice that they're trying to make pros.
Sure. The other thing that stood out to me, though, too, is that like apparently so she was asked, I think it was in that same article or some article, they were asking like the guy that owns the company, he's like, so are women interested in this product for the male dolls? And he's like, no. He's like, I'm making them because I want to keep I want the like feminists to stay off my back, because it's like, if I make a male doll, then I can say, look, it's equal opportunity. But the truth is there is no market for it. women aren't buying that stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, he doesn't care. He just wants to like, he just wants people to not accuse him of being a misogynist, basically.
Yeah, there was an official some research done in Tufts University, a survey of 100 people. 2/3 of the men polled said that they would have sex with a robot, and then 2/3 women said they would not.
Right.
So,
and maybe like the 1/3 would be more like me too, where I'm just like, I mean, to try it, maybe if I could like get my mind, if I didn't go running, screaming out of the room.
you know what? I'll take a chef robot. Give me one. Give me one.
Cook for you.
Cook for me and talk
and
like
you just have sex with him.
No,
you just have him
just
cook.
eat his fucking sausage.
But that's basically what. That honestly,
no, it literally is making me
right,
like like onions and peppers.
Because I was like, you want to blow a
robot?
robot?
No. But like, how fun would that be? It's like he's cooking for me, and then like, because I think
all that's coming too, though.
Right.
I mean, those robots are coming. It's like that's part of this.
And they
whole
will
thing.
choke you out, and
they will still murder you.
Yeah,
while you're sleeping.
with your knife, with the knife.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you
chopping
really
the
want your
onions.
robots to like have all access to the
But
knife?
it's. I mean, I understand the need for robots and how in medical, like if there's a type of a surgery that you need a precision or something, and you get a robot in there. I mean, that's terrifying too.
Well, they were saying that that's really helpful too for like in like third world countries where they don't have access to like doctors and things as readily as we do in the West. That like having robot doctors is a very useful thing for people, and that makes it more affordable for people to get surgeries that they maybe couldn't get at all or have access to surgeries they couldn't get. So yes, robots can be great.
I just don't think that they can provide intimacy.
Right.
Which, I mean, that's my goal in sex. So, and it goes back to our sex ed of understanding. And I had this conversation with the guy I'm seeing of like, what is sex? Like, why do you like sex? And then I was explaining to him like, your orgasm isn't supposed to be the end goal. The connection between
so this
us,
is what I was saying earlier. It's like, how do we define sex?
Right.
Now?
But then I think it has to be an individual's choice, because we do live in the land of the free. So if we're going to really truly be, I mean, are we going to outlaw sex robots? Is that maybe where we're headed? Or are we going to stand?
I mean, I think it's a slippery slope to outlaw sex robots, because then you're basically...
There are people trying to.
For sure. But I think that like, maybe the robot thing is the thing, but it's like, it's very close to then outlawing like masturbation somehow. Do you know what I mean?
And then,
and that's a whole problem. We can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not that I got the.
I would be in jail. Yeah. No. So I don't know if you can like. I think maybe it'd be more interesting to try to like limit the like capability of AI. That was another thing that they said. They were like, somebody casually mentioned in some article, they're like, they don't have cameras in their eyes yet, but like that's coming. And I'm like, oh my God.
Nobody needs to see.
But the thing about the cameras in the eyes is like, to have a real good AI, they have to like be able to have intake. Like they have to be able to see and take in, information somehow. But like, think about a hacker getting that information. I mean, it's just like, this just seems like a bad idea. It feels like a shop at your own risk thing. Speaking of shop, the price points on these guys are pretty high.
Who needs a car when you can ride a sex robot for the same price? What, it's like $12,000 to $50,000. I mean, I think like the lowest of the low is like $7,000.
Right, that's what I saw.
And then the highest is like
maybe doesn't look so realistic or something.
Right.
I don't know what.
And then the most is like $50,000.
Yeah.
Well, so Whitney Cummings' new special, she ends the special with bringing out her sex robot.
The one that looks like her?
Yes.
That's weird.
And I mean, the joke is obviously like she's programmed her to tell jokes and stuff. She's not like fucking her on stage.
They do tell jokes.
Yeah.
They're already
they can
tell jokes. They tell jokes. They tell funny stories. They give you compliments. Like that's the kind of stuff that's coming out of their mouths. And then you push the button. That's the X button. And then they're in sex mode. And then they're just like,
then they're in sex mode.
But you have to push the button. This is where like I feel like, doesn't that take you out of the whole thing? Like you're having like a nice date with your sex robot, and then you have to like push a button to get her to go like, okay, now we can do this. I don't know.
You know where sex robots are really going to take off? It's teenage boys. Like, don't you think they would?
What rich teenage boy is going to be able to afford a sex robot?
I don't know. I feel like there's going to be. I don't know. It's rich. There's lots of rich kids out there
for sure. But is that a thing that you would buy your son?
No.
I mean that's crazy. Where are they going to get?
Would I
these
buy
sex
them for my
robots?
nephews? That's so crazy to think.
Ew, God, no, please no.
What if they invent one? Oh no.
I hope that
What
they
is
use their-
happening in our world that we are? This is. I mean, but this is for real. This is not going anywhere.
Oh no, I mean we're
People
not
are going to
even-
be marrying sex robots by
sure.
2050.
And part of me is like, fine.
No.
Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah,
whatever.
we're not going to go march
Okay.
the streets.
I don't want to marry
on
that guy.
Yeah.
Who wants to marry a sex robot. There's some really great movies though about these like concepts like that. Lars and the Real Girl,
Yeah.
and like
Her,
yeah, and like just sort of that. Maybe part of this conversation is about like, again, like if we're using our phones so much and we're getting disconnected from people, it's like just compounding the problem by having like people are like starving for connection, and they're having a hard time finding it in the real world. So like this is like their solution. You know what I mean? So maybe we need that apocalypse so that it takes out all the power grids, and then we have to hang out with each other.
We have to hang out. Man.
I don't know. What a wild ride this has been. I don't know.
I mean, I'm so glad that you suggested it. I am
Are you
terrified.
though? I'm sorry. I'm gonna have like nightmares forever.
Terrified for I mean, here is buying the boyfriend pillow a gateway
Maybe.
to sex robots?
Maybe.
I mean,
If the pillow can talk to you, then it'll be like,
good night, Mary.
yeah. Do you have a boyfriend pillow?
No, but I've always wanted one.
I hear it's good for your posture and like your back and stuff.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
Huh.
Would you get it like with a face on there? I think you can. I think you can get like you can get a face printed on your pillow.
God.
You can like make out with it, like old school style.
Wow. That's our kind of robot.
And I just put like some like recording device of me in a talking. I know I'll pre-record myself being like, "Hey, Katy.
Oh, God, no.
How are you doing?
My lady
you
boner
look
just-
beautiful today."
I'll never have.
No, it doesn't turn you on. How's it going?
No. Well, so I think you should put on all your dating profiles from now on, or at least like when you have to ask them a question or something, like just lead with that.
I'm a sex
Just so
robot.
you no. Would you have
sex
sex
with
with a sex robot?
I don't think I want to know those answers.
I think it's very important. No,
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I just feel like with men, I mean, I don't want to be sexist with this, but having an
appendage.
an appendage and being able to put it in something, I don't know what that feels like. But with my vagina,
Pulse.
my puss, it just feels very, just completely
Intimate. Well, somebody's
Yeah.
like entering your body.
right. And it can cause bacterial infections
For
on
sure,
but
all
you put
sorts
your
of
dick
things.
all over,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it different? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, we have lots of things people can use. We're certainly not against sex
No,
toys by any means.
totally
That was
for
another
it.
positive, or potentially, was that some people were also buying them as couples. So
well,
it's not
one thing I read was like
necessarily-
it's saving marriages. The Swedish, no,
So it makes it like it's like a threesome, but also you don't have to have an actual
Right.
person. So that kind of is a cool
yeah.
concept.
There's
I
a
guess.
Spanish inventor that had dolls, and him and his wife together are
working on that. as
working
a
on
concept.
this and
I
saying
mean,
that
you know,
it saves marriages and stuff.
and
But
I guess
then-
like with anything, there's like always going to be a good and bad side or whatever. Also, like I feel like when online dating started, people were like, "This is the end of the world," and like now it's like normalized. So unfortunately, it probably will happen. It's like it'll just be normal. I just don't ever want to go on a date with somebody and then come back to their house and then see a doll in their like room. I would be like, I gotta go.
yeah.
I don't.
Do you mind if Harmony joins us tonight?
God, yes, I do. Get her away from me.
Let me just push this button.
Yeah, it's the X button.
Wow.
Also, like, then are we going to be comparing ourselves to these like?
Well,
dolls?
that's the one thing that the wife said. The Spanish guy that's doing these sex toys with his wife, or I guess maybe he said that if my wife enjoys having sex with the robot more than me, that's when there's a problem.
Well, and
it was like,
that's
hello.
clearly going to be a problem. At some, I
Right.
mean, yeah,
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
this is a rough one.
It is. I don't know. I'd be very curious to hear what our listeners think about having.
Sure, or maybe
what the
somebody out
future
there
of sex
has one and they
robots.
know. They
Oh
can
my
tell us
God.
what the deal is and how they like it.
Please.
Because again, we try to really not be like judgmental and whatever. That's why I was like, I'm going to come in on this and be like real, like pro sex robot. And it's not in me. I don't have it in me. I don't want it in me. I
don't want
want it. I don't.
Is that the name of the episode?
Yeah,
I don't want it in me. Sex toys
Absolutely.
anymore. Sex
Yeah.
robots. Oh God. Well, this is fun. I mean, if you get into the research, it just is a full black hole of all
There's a
sorts
lot of
of
things.
yeah. There's so much. There's so many conventions all over the world
Right.
of celebrating sex with robots. That's one thing that I was shocked at. I mean, just like in so many different countries, people are coming together from all over the world to talk and really fight
if
for.
it brings people together, that's nice. That's like the opposite of what we're worried about. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But then they go.
Maybe there could be an island that people just go to, and then it's like Sex Robot Island. And then they can live and thrive, and then they'll probably come and kill us all. But let's start there. Temptation Island.
I see. Sort of like
You know?
Jurassic Park, where you keep the dinosaurs on an island away from the rest
He's
of
learned
humanity.
how to open doors.
Yeah. I don't think that was a line from the movie.
I don't know.
That's a one good. Have you seen that movie? Do you know?
It's my favorite movie.
I know.
Oh, God. Well, this
Well,
was great. I'm so glad that you suggested it.
I'll never sleep again. But yeah, me too. It's been good.
Henry and Harmony, if you're listening. Thanks.
Please, I hope you're not listening. please turn yourself off.
People, maybe one of our fans has one and is programming it into.
Yeah,
That's really weird.
well, anyway, if you do want to send us an email telling us how horrifying this episode was or whatever, you can send us an email at difficultwomenpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you're in New York City, don't forget we have our show September 19th at Caveat. Please come out and support us. We'd love to meet you and talk
Absolutely.
sex robots.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to think about the rest of the day. Okay.
Oh, thank you all so much. Bye.
Sweet dreams.
Oh my God, stop it.
Growing up down south, I was a good Christian girl. Living in my parents' house, I followed all of their rules. Never once did I make one single mistake. Till that day came when I